Welcome back everyone to my Let's Play of Final Fantasy II for the Nintendo Famicom system. I promise you, we will complete the Mysdia Cave this episode. So yes, we've been in here far too long, but don't worry, it is going to come to an end today. So we only have one more room to go, 3 more treasure chests to get, and then thankfully we can warp on out of here and say goodbye Mysdia Cave and never have to come back here again. So, although if you think this dungeon was long, wait until we get into the Mysdia Tower. That is 10 floors. This was only 5 floors. So, yeah. 10 floors of going up. So, yeah, that should be a fun adventure. But, hey. Ratty heroes gotta do what a ratty hero's gotta do. So I stay on track, collect the facts, never cut slack, and I always watch my back. That's a little rhyme from the old Nintendo commercial for The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, the Game Boy game. So, for some reason I still remember that rhyme. So, it's amazing the things you remember, so you can go check out a Let's Play of that on my channel as well. So, eventually I gotta get to play more Zelda games. I have, for the computer, I have Zelda Classics. I'm gonna have to go do them one of these days. But I'm trying to get through all these console games first. So, because I have my computer currently set up with the capture card attached to the TV, so that I can just record off the consoles, be it the Wii, the Nintendo, or the Super Nintendo. So, don't really want to change up my setup, you know, figure I'd get rid of all the console games first and then jump into the thing. But who knows, maybe I'll change it up eventually, so we'll see. Maybe I'll get tired one day and be like, you know what, I really feel like playing some Zeldas. So, because I have, I think, 24 Zelda games from Zelda Classics to play through. I do have some Zelda console games yet to do for the Game Boy. I have Zelda Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons, and I'll be playing them both twice because those are linked games. So not much changes, but there is a little bit of changes. You can do Oracles, you can do either one first, and then they link to the other. So I'll do one thing where I do Seasons first, then Ages, and then I'll do one where I do Ages first and then Seasons. So just to show off everything. But those will be for replays. Those will be much later on. So, like I said, I have plans for this year is the year of NES Final Fantasies and NES Dragon Quests. So hopefully get through Final Fantasy 2, 3 here, then Final Fantasy 5 4-Job Fiesta. This year playing for Small Angel Rescue, Knight, Bards, Red Mages, and Samurais. So should be a much easier Fiesta than last year, where people said I started off with the worst 2 starting classes I could, the Thief and then the Berserker. So, and then we'll have the Dragon Quests 1, 2, 3, and 4 for the regular Nintendo to go through. So, 1, 2, and 3 are all the Erdrick trilogy. They all link with one another. And then 4, 5, and 6 aren't as tied in close to one another as 1, 2, and 3 are, but they're called the Zenithian trilogy because they all feature the Zenithian castle in the sky. So, the dragons. So, and then after that, then every Dragon Quest after that just kind of goes on their own. So, I tried to do a little bit of 7 and 8 for the Nintendo DS, but my obsessive compulsiveness prevented me from going through with them. So, because I had 9 for the DS, for the 3DS. Well, 9 was for the DS, but I played it on my 2DS. And another Drain Tome. So we're just gonna have to equip an item here to give a space. Because now we got the Osmos Tome. We'll give that to Maxine. And then the final slot here in our inventory we will use for the crystal rod. So we're just going to move our stuff around here a little bit. Yeah, we're gonna have to go back to town and sell a bunch of this stuff. Yowza. So, organize our inventory. But yeah, I did Dragon Quest 9, and that took forever for me to do because I had to beat all the enemies. Well, I couldn't beat all the enemies because they have downloadable content in that game. And by the time I got the game, the downloadable content is no longer available. But I did all the quests and all the stuff that you could do without the downloadable content. So in that sense, I 100%ed the game. But to 100% that game, it took me like 1,000 hours to do because I had to fight every enemy, make sure they dropped all their stuff, you know, so it was a lot of farming. And I was like, wait, 7 and 8 are the same way, where they have an in-game bestiary. And I played for like 30 hours on Dragon Quest 8, and probably 5 of them hours were trying to farm 1 in 265 drop from an enemy. And I was like, I don't have enough time to do this. I have other things I need to do with my life. And I don't have the ability to capture game footage on those from the 3DS. I know there's a 2DS. I know there's ways too, because some people have put up playthroughs. But I'm not buying any new equipment for that stuff. So I have more than enough games to play just as is. So no use investing into new stuff, and no use investing all that time into those games. So, yep, I'll probably just end up trying to sell my 2DS and the games with it, so make some extra cash. I have a bunch of stuff I have to sell. One of these days I'm going to have to go through my condo here. I have all the stuff already set off to the side, but take pictures of it and put it on, like, maybe Facebook Marketplace or something. I used to have these things called yard sales. The one church had one. I sold a bunch of stuff in it one time. You know, they're just like, hey, you know, community yard sale. That would be nice to have. We got a new ownership in our condo association, so maybe I can convince them to have a nice community yard sale one day. So, get rid of a bunch of stuff. A lot of stuff that my parents buy me that I don't want. I always tell my parents, I'm like, Mom, Dad, I don't want anything. I'm trying to be a minimalist, you know. My money I'll spend on my pets, you know. I don't need a lot of things, you know. I was proud when I was in the Army that I was able to fit everything that I owned in my Chevy Metro. It was nice. Now I can probably fit everything I own in a small U-Haul van. So, one of the tiny ones. Because, you know, the biggest things I have are my fold-out couch, my washer-dryer, you know. Everything else would stay with the condo if I sold it. You know, the fridge, you know, the stove, the dishwasher, all that stuff, you know, that came with the condo when I bought it. So I wouldn't take it anyway. You know, it'd all be just a dish, you know. And theoretically, I guess I could also leave the washer-dryer, you know, for whoever buys it, you know. That would force me to have to buy a new washer-dryer, but, you know, my washer-dryer are kind of old. Still function, though, so no use getting rid of them if they still work, right? So, don't have to keep up with the Joneses, you know. Don't need to buy a new washer-dryer every few years, you know. The only thing wrong with the dryer is the timer broke. So I just have to, you know, be mindful of the timer itself, you know. Normally, like I said, you'd have a 60-minute timer, and I'd usually have to run through 2 cycles to dry all the clothes. Whatchamacallit, the timer broke, so I just have to realize when do I put the clothes in, and then just open it up in 2 hours. So, not that hard, not so detrimental that I need to buy a new dryer for it, so. Although I probably should, give it a nice, vacuum in the hose. So, our maintenance man does it every year. it's required because it can be a fire hazard if you, obviously I change the lint every time I pull out the lint screen every time I do the wash. But, stuff sometimes, of course, falls through and gets stuck in the hose in the back, the dryer hose. So just as a fire hazard, you're required each year to have the maintenance man come out and clean out your hose. So, hey, look, Maxine finally got to use that Osmo spell, as you can see. Pulled a bunch of MP from the Black Flan, and now she can cast her fire spell again. Sadly, Fess can't use the Osmo spell to, because he don't have it, to get some MP and heal his poison status there, so, yeah, yuck. I'm going to have to, unfortunately, use a cabin. I could use the elixir, but remember, elixirs are really expensive, so it's actually cheaper to just use that cabin to heal him up, get his MP back to cast the, cast the Suna to heal himself up, because I don't have any antidotes. I got rid of all of them because I realized that, hey, I can just cure it with the Fess's Asuna spell, so. Yep, so hey, we're gonna clear up some inventory space though, I guess that's good. So, we definitely need to clear up inventory space. I just said cure up inventory space, we don't want to cure inventory. Well, we want to cure our extra, cure our backs from carrying all this stuff around. So, but, I'm gonna have to, I will wait to try to cure that poison in battle. Try to, maybe force a, spirit increase. Like I said, Fess's spirit is a little low compared to, Maxine's intelligence. Yeah, Maxine will have no problem, should have no problem maxing out her intelligence. So, maxing out at 99, and then with the black robe that she'll end up getting, we'll put it up to 109. Although technically 108 is, the last time you'll get a bonus, because it's always divided by 4, so yeah, there's no difference between intelligence and, 96 and 99, without the black robe to give it that plus 10. Because everything's divided by 4, rounded down. So, 96, 100, 104, 108 is when you get those extra multipliers. So, well, unfortunately the poison didn't change, but yeah, we didn't get rid of the poison, but no, well, we'll just get rid of it now in Thingamabobber. So, Scourge, very close to getting level 6, so maybe 1 or 2 more castings depending on the level of the enemies that we encounter. So let's head back to Altair. We can just park here at the tip of that peninsula, head straight up, and run into some scary goblins. So, I don't know if we'll get any points for Scourge. Let's see here. Probably not. Yeah, I don't think we'll get any points for Scourge, because I think it's the way it is. It's 3 plus the rank minus your level. So, yeah, I don't think we'll get anything from that, but oh well. Still that one guy just hanging out here, so let's sell our stuff. Now, one of the things we're going to have to do here is we're going to basically want to, once we sell our stuff, we're going to take a bunch of equipment off of Layla. Layla, like I said in the earlier episode, that Mysdia Cave is the last cave that she will be with us. Last dungeon she's with us. So we're going to take off all her equipment. We're going to keep some of the equipment, though. You don't really need to keep any of the equipment because the character we're going to get has good equipment on his own. And, is well equipped that we don't need to give him any equipment. But because we're going to try to build him up as a bow user, he comes as a sword user. Because he's going to come as a bow user, we're going to want to make him a bow user. We're going to want to de-equip Layla's bows and her gear He's normally like a frontline fighter, so he'll have heavy armor, shields, and a sword. But we're going to take that gear off of him, sell it, and make him an archer, like how Layla and pretty much all our characters have been. So some of the stuff we can sell, because he comes with a bunch of strength boosting equipment. I think he comes with giant's gloves and a giant helmet. So he's going to need the gold pin to increase his agility. But we can sell the giant helmet, the giant gloves, because the guy will come with his own giant gloves. So keep some malin and ether there, in case Fess gets, fogged. So, Badonk. Sadly, our new sword user, who will get our new character, does not have an upgraded sword. He will have a winged sword, so. But we will get an upgraded sword in the next dungeon. But it's very close. So. But it's a surprise dungeon. If you didn't know about it, it would take you totally by surprise. So, but don't worry, that's why I'm here to point it out. So we're going to hop into our ship and we're going to head over toward the Mysdia Tower. But we're not going to go to the Mysdia Tower. We're going to stop right in front of it here because the next dungeon is in that little channel right there. So we're going to de-equip, make sure Layla has all her equipment. Because once we head 2 more tiles up, we will lose Layla for good. So come back in our next episode where we go into this next new dungeon. Take care. Have a good day. Bye.